mayor of Paris, the host of the Olympics. She's just confirmed that the people in charge of these games, they really are a cancer on Western culture. The foul mouth on her. Now, as you know, there was a lot of criticism of part of the opening ceremony, how it included a scene of drag queens clearly mocking Christianity, one of them in the middle with a halo even, with their takeoff of Christ's Last Supper, particularly as famously painted by Leonardo da Vinci. Now, the organisers first issued a half-hearted apology, but now Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo, a socialist, of course, and a global warming extremist, has cut loose with all the intolerance and abuse that now typifies the woke left. If the reactionaries, she said, if this far right, if all of those who would like to lock us into a war of all against all. Paris, she said, is the city of all freedoms, the city of refuge for LGBTQI plus people. Joining me are two Queensland politicians, Federal Liberal MP Garth Hamilton and Robbie Katter, head of Katter's Australia Party, originally founded by his father Bob, now the Federal MP. Garth, that response by the Paris Mayor, your response?
Well, it doesn't sound terribly inclusive, does it? She doesn't sound like a very tolerant person. But look, I think she gives the game away, doesn't she, with that response? This is someone who does very clearly have an agenda. And we've seen that right across these games. I think this is really sad, Andrew. That's what these games will be remembered for. They had that rather tacky opening ceremony. But, don't forget, they've also then tried to force a vegan menu on everybody. Then they ran out of meat and dairy the day before the opening ceremony. So that one didn't work too well, that agenda. And then, cardboard beds, no air conditioning. You've got multiple athletes connecting the poor conditions with the poor results or the lack of world records that we're seeing. So we've had quite a few athletes make that connection themselves. Isn't that sad that this Olympics has decided to go woke? It wants to push these agendas. And what's suffering are the athletes and their performances.
Yep. Well, it seems to me, Robbie, that here's a Paris mayor that seems abusive, intolerant, anti-Christian, and likes ordering people around and has got a terrible mouth on her. It doesn't seem a great advertisement for French culture.
Yeah, they've really distorted that word tolerance, haven't they, Andrew? Because it's quite aggressive. It's so aggressive and provocative, the actions that they take. It moves well beyond just trying to, encourage people to open their mind. I mean, there's a bloke that dressed in a dress and stilettos in Mount Isa, and you'd probably say it's one of the most sort of bushy, right-wing sort of places you'd find in Queensland. No one was throwing eggs at them, or everyone's okay with it. We don't need to force down our throat. And especially on the world stage, when we're there to participate in sports, not having a political agenda rammed down our throat. It really sours everything for everyone. And, I feel sorry for a lot of those people who are sort of, right-wing Christian athletes that really don't want to push their agenda on anyone over there just trying to compete. And I'm sure that would play into their head a little bit when they're exposed with that. But really attacking one of the most revered images we have in Christianity and aggressively attacking that, I guess it speaks to how these people operate and what their agenda is. Sure, we're all for tolerance, but it's got to work both ways.
Yeah, well, I would have thought so.